Kajabi, you have a few options to set up your webinar. You can do it live and you can do it automated. However, Kajabi, the only weakness with Kajabi is it doesn't actually have a webinar streaming or simulated automated webinar set up in it. But you can still create a webinar-like experience for automations, and you can integrate with your live webinar, but create the funnel and the sign-up and the list in Kajabi. Okay, so I'm going to show you, if you haven't done your webinar yet and you're going to do it live, then you're going to come in here and you're going to go to marketing and you're going to go to pipeline. This will enable you to set up a live webinar utilizing Zoom and show you kind of a framework for this. They've already got a pipeline created, which makes life a little bit easier. So you just go to zoom.us and sign up for, you need to sign up for the paid version that has the webinar option. So that you'll be able to get people to register, they'll be able to get their own link, and you can then identify how many people have come and how many people have watched to give you an idea of how well your live webinar has converted before you automate. There is another option to just record your webinar, but you may lose some of the engagement and energy of going live. And also, if we go straight to Kajabi automated and just play a video, you're not going to know how many people have watched your video to really understand how it is converting. All you'll know is, I'm not getting any sales, or I am, but you won't have any of the metrics that you need to kind of optimize from there. So I do recommend going live if you are going to use Kajabi, and you can just get Zoom for a month and then try and do as many webinars as you can, as many live ones as you can, to get a great live recording that has converted, so then you can start to go to automation. So the pipeline that we will use is Zoom webinar. I don't know why it's called OVO. They call it OVO pipeline. And they've got a whole walkthrough for this, which is kind of cool too. But you're just going to create the pipeline. You're going to have needed to have set up your Zoom webinar as well. So you'll have gone to Zoom, you'll sign up for that, and then you're going to know your date. You would have chosen your date and time as well, because you're going to need your Zoom webinar link or your Zoom meeting link. I think get the webinar link, because then you're going to get the analytics that you need to know how people have interacted with it. So you will need to do that first, set it up on the webinar plan and get your link created. Then you put your time in. Now with this, you might not, you might just be selling to an application rather than an actual offer. Okay, so you can just generate the pipeline without choosing the offer here. And then it's going to give you all the steps that you need, but the main step you'll need to send ad traffic is a landing page and a thank you page. The rest should integrate once you've got that webinar link. The beautiful thing with Kajabi is you'll get all your contacts into your Kajabi as well. So everything's kind of all done from here. So all your emails will be sent out from here. As people sign up for the webinar, they'll go into your subscriber list in here too. So everything can kind of come together and work together. Okay, so it is quite great as an all-in-one solution, and Kajabi existed kind of maybe a year or two after I got into business a long time ago, but it didn't have all this other functionality. It really was just a course platform. Now it is a payment processor. It hosts your videos and it's got all the email contacts in it and all that kind of stuff, which is fantastic. So really you can just follow this along and just start here, and it will say, okay, great, I'm going to start my registration page, and you just go in and start building it, drag and drop. You want to keep this quite simple, and you can change the colors, the fonts. Kajabi isn't great for designs. Like, I do love lead pages a little more if you're going to take off the shelf things, but you can basically just get in there and start putting in your thing. You will have to it's already going to have your forms. The good thing with this pipeline is it gives you all the prompts of what you need, but you will need to edit, and don't have to edit too much. Most of this text is okay. You put your title in, so it sort of gives you all those prompts. And then you can go to the background. It will just give you the background. You might just want to put a basic image in there. Look at it on desktop and mobile. You might put a countdown there from when you're going live, and that will be on your confirmation page too. You can even have a sales page, but if you're just going to strategy session, you will not need that. And it will also show you how to do all your emails in here as well. So everything is kind of set out here, which I like, and all the emails are in here to edit as well. So I really love the way it does that, and it's got everything in one spot. And it'll give you your stats too of what's happening as you go through that, how many people have signed up for the registration page. So if we're sending ad traffic there, we'll know how that landing page is performing. And when we go into our ads, we'll know how the ads are performing, and we can sort of get a sense of how that's converting, which is that first sort of phase of conversion, like getting people to sign up and knowing that your title's working, that you're getting registrants. And then we will want to look at how the webinar is performing too once we get that all dialed in. So get that set up and you're good to go with your first live webinar. If you then have a recording of a webinar that you know does convert, then you can go into Kajabi as well and set up like another, more like an opt-in page. You have a registration, and then they go to a webinar play page, which is basically just one of these pages with a video embedded in it as well. So in here, I'll just see if they have one. If not, you just set up your own pipeline from scratch and build it. So that was what we were looking at before. Otherwise, a new pipeline is, let's have a look and see if they've got one in here. Because I do use automated software, Easy Webinar or Ever Webinar, because I think it's got a little more like chat features and things like that. But just to get started, if you don't want to add more software, you can do it this way. Otherwise, go to Easy Webinar. I've got my other videos there where you can do live and automated webinars, and it's got a monthly plan as well. So yes, it hasn't got a pipeline for that, so you would need to set up your own pipeline where you would have a registration page and then a page where you embed the video of your record, or not embed, sorry, because Kajabi hosts videos, which is awesome. So I'll just put automated webinar test here. I didn't have a typo there. And you can just set this up, and it will allow you to sort of create the pipeline as you want and need it. So like I said, a registration page that goes to I would just send it straight to a webinar play page, and then you would host the video on there, and you'd have a link to apply for a session with you, or a link to your actual program. And set up the emails to trigger once they've registered. Hey, make sure you go back to the link to the webinar replay page, and go from there. Hopefully that helps and you can get everything moving.